Welcome, everyone. Welcome to This Is Who I Am Now live, my weekly show here on Substack on Tuesdays at 12:30. I'm so happy you're here. Come on in. We're coming in. Our live friends, if you're watching the recording, big kisses for wherever you are, whenever this is. And if you're joining live, it's so freaking cool to join live. So I'm so happy you're here. Um, Today's episode is going to absolutely be like a 5 to 8 minute speed one. And I'm not going to be like rushy, but that is the window of time I have because, deep breath. I'm currently post spending a month upstate with my family in the Hudson Valley, which was incredible. And it was definitely like a really different trip for us. Typically, when we are upstate, we're, in nature and relaxing and enjoying ourselves, but we're still busy. Like I'm still bopping around at acupuncture and I get a little spa moment and going for nature walks. And there's a beautiful waterfall we go visit. And it's so funny because we did none of these things for an entire month. And what I realized is I just needed so much less. Like I felt nourished by so much less in such simpler moments. I also want to say that our 10-year-old was away at sleepaway camp. So we just had our 5-year-old who was loving her day camps that she was in. And so definitely as far as mom life goes, parent mode goes, had the easier hand for sure. And that was also very new for me. Navy went to sleepaway camp last summer, but we were away for some of it. And then it was just another couple of weeks. And before we knew it, she was back. And she's gone the whole summer this time, which still felt a little bit mixed, but it was her big request and she begged for that all year. And so she's away and we just had this really beautiful time. And I think the lessons from that I want to bring back are, really leaning into less and how can I, which is ironic because what I'm going to show you today is the opposite of less, but how at home our weekends can just have one thing we do. There's just can be less. And it was just really nice, and even less with the kids, like just being in the room or playing with them or doing something really simple, so that there isn't a start and a stop deadline, which I think really just adds so much noise. And I get life is full. I'm like, you see me on social media living this life that's like clearly minute to minute, with a lot going on and a lot packed in. And I really think we are starting a newer season in my home and my family of a little bit less, even if it's just a little bit. Um, and so in the opposite of that, which is so interesting, is that we were upstate for a month and we planned a big summer trip, actually many years ago, because it's going to be a full eclipse. So the sun will be fully covered. I've never experienced that before. My husband's gone a couple of times and we knew it was going to be full visibility. Totality was going to be viewable from one of our favorite places that we love to visit as a family, which is in Ibiza, Spain, that the full eclipse will be off the north coast. And so we've been planning this trip literally for years when we found out that date. And it's so funny that now that it's here, and I, by no means am I like complaining. I'm so excited and grateful, but this absolutely feels like on a very large scale, like a plan, a past version of you made that doesn't quite meet the current moment. And so I would have been very happy to just continue chilling in my summer, but I know I will be very happy when we're on this beautiful, incredible trip. But it's just something to think about for next time. Like I feel like honoring this is who I am now in this season and this moment of who I am is taking in that information and adjusting as needed. Even if it's something that is so fun and so big, maybe it moves a little bit for later. Or maybe you're the opposite of what I'm saying and you need, you're in a season where you have not fed and fueled that part of you enough that wants bigger, that wants more adventurous. And how can you bring that in a little bit more? And so I'm just sharing this all to say that I want you to understand a little bit more of what goes on behind the scenes of someone like me who's living this life that really seems like it matches me honoring who I am in every moment in every season. But sometimes we make other plans and, you know, they're not 100% what you want in the moment. And you're like, okay, that's okay too. And by no means am I saying, am I going to cancel my trip? Even though I've heard of I've seen people on social media do just that. And that was exactly what they needed. That's not what we need. All I need from this is to take in this new information. And when we're looking towards the future, can we have a bigger buffer time? Can we do, I don't know, just see what we really want, or do more things last minute. And if it works out great, it doesn't. So if there's anything you want to say about that in the chat, I love my live friends. Go ahead and post that below, or if any of this resonated with you in the video, you can share that as well. So a couple funny things I want to point out. One, I am so tan because I had a gorgeous spray tan, and let me tell you, there's nothing like a glow up moment than that you get from a spray tan. But I have no other makeup on, so that's why I feel like it always looks a little off. And then we have some party nails happening. This is like a French with chrome, which feels like quite a lot in my Zen den in Brooklyn, but will be very fun in Ibiza. So I promised this would be a quick one, but so I wanted to just take you a little peek in some of my like supplements and powders and potions that I'm bringing, so you can see what I'm packing. So what I was saying was we were upstate for 4 weeks, and now we just have pretty much a day and a half turnaround, and we're heading to Europe for a 3-week adventure, which I'm sure will be incredible. And I will be doing my show live from there, which will be so fun, and I'll show you around. And just wanted to share a little more behind the scenes of like, it's not so simple, It's not so simple. And then show you a couple things of what I'm bringing. So, um, as I shared on my episode 2 and episode 3, I have since paused my hormone replacement therapy. Someone wrote a little comment. It's super helpful. Thank you. I'm so glad. Yeah. So I've since replaced my hormone replacement therapy, or I should say, I paused hormone replacement therapy. And so I'm leaning heavily into supplementation. So the only way I know when I'm traveling that I will take those supplements is to do individual bags. And then it's labeled what's in here. And then each bag has exactly that, plus a little extra. Like I knew it'd be a good idea to have immune defense, to make sure I have my probiotic. So that's what's in this one. And then all the supplements are listed in the episode 2 companion guide. So if you want all the specifics on that, and they're also in my shop line. And then I have an evening and miscellaneous. So that's an evening packet right there. And a lot of the evening stuff is a little bit of melatonin, some ginger. I like digestive enzymes at night. And then I really love the New Chapter Zyflamen products. So if I've been like hiking on my feet, exercising, just vacations with kids are very, very physical. Like you're carrying, you're lugging, things ache. And so I find that that helps. And then plus I love these little B12 tablets. So this is like my little afternoon pick-me-up. And then I have a lot of papaya enzymes that I bring. I bring all the digestive health support when I'm traveling. I also bring like fiber. Oh, actually my fiber is in here. I had to put in a different thing, but I love the Sakara Life fiber gummies. These are all in my shop. I will give you guys the link. And then I make sure I have like meds, like my Advil. I bring my electrolytes. This one is from Ultima. And then I also bring electrolyte packets because these you need to pop in your bag. These I keep at the house or, the Airbnb or the apartment. And then this just has a mix. Cure is, I want to speak negatively. I don't think it's profile wise technically the best one, but the flavor is really good and my kids like them. So it's mostly coconut powder and some sea salt. So, but it's more yummy. It's more like that one to me is to get you to drink more water. And then the Metagenics Endura electrolyte power is really good. I have all of this somewhere. I think a blog post. Maybe we'll dig that up for you and share it, but it's definitely somewhere. This is my cacao and colostrum contraption. So this is if you have littles somewhere in your life, these are those little like snack stackables from Skip Hop. I didn't intend for this to be the thing that I was like 100% using for this, but it just worked out that way. So up top, I have my cacao from Cacao Hunapoo. Also in my beverages, in my shop mine. This isn't to like, I'm making money from selling you cacao. It's more that you have the resources to, that they exist online. I'm sharing this and maybe my team support can put together a little, doc on this or something like that. And then this is my colostrum that I love, the Cowboy Colostrum. I think it's really great for gut health and immunity. So I have that there. I take this like this. I throw in a protein packet just as an emergency. I just have it as protein water. Oh, hang on. I went, timed out. So I bring a little protein. And then the last thing I want to show you is kind of my little teas bag here. So I bring some matcha on the go. These are great because you can just have them in water and go. Because sometimes, we're traveling, we have an overnight. So, and I do drink some version of caffeine every day. So if I didn't, I would get a headache. So this is a great option if like it's the morning, but I want coffee or it's the afternoon or I'm not quite sure. And then the last thing I'm going to share, well, two things. The last thing I'm going to share before I wrap this little mini episode, which was actually super fun to do. So I'm so glad that I showed up and did it. I had a moment where I was like, this was a bad idea. Why did I say I was going to go live? There's so much going on. And then my dear past client turned dear friend was like, you told people you would be there and they're planning to be there. You should be there. And she was right. So the last thing I want to show you is my handy dandy teas. So I love traditional medicinal. So I always bring peppermint, which is just great for digestion and also just really nice to end the day, or just sometimes if you're nauseous, ginger is great for that too, but peppermint also works wonderfully. And then dandelion, leaf and root. So if you take one thing away from This Is Who I Am Now this week, this is a wonderful supplement, tea rather, when you travel. It really helps flush your system. So all the water that we retain from travel, from sitting too long, who knows what we're eating, this helps your body flush it out. And I really notice a significant difference in my belly and my bloat when I use this dandelion leaf and root. So highly recommend this one. And so I just carry them. Sometimes I have my little stasher bag version, so I'll do that, but was a little rushy. So good old Ziploc bags. And then the last one is I do bring my creatine. I really love the Ancient and Brave one. I just ran out. So I had the Sheatine from JJ Virgin. You can get that on Amazon. So I'm throwing that in. So I'm not missing my creatine and my muscle building. And then I put all of this in like a little mini zip up pouch. And this will go on like my secondary carry on. So I've got my backpack and then I've got kind of like a bigger tote. And that's where all this will live. That's it. Deep breath in. And let's bring it all down. I'm sure you're wishing me safe and smooth travels. This was fun to pop on and do this. Let me know what else you want me to share from my trip and my travels. And I will see you online and I will see you again next week. Bye, everyone.